Yo, what's going on? My name is Kaz. We're back with another episode of Outback Interviews. Today we are joined with a talented artist, and for me, this was a whole new experience in terms of music and just like a different genre. So can you please give the audience your name for me?
Hello, guys. My name is Amani Starks.
Eric, okay. My first question is just off the rip. How long have you been doing music?
I've been doing music since May 2021, but I always really wanted to make me. I always wanted to make music, but I was always really shy about my voice because I always was like, ooh, like, is people actually gonna like this? Like, nobody outside of myself was really encouraging me to do it. Sometimes my dad would, like, when he realized I could sing, but I would like hide it from him because I didn't want him to
You
know.
were nervous?
Nigga, I just didn't want him to know.
I tell you this all the time. My dad, my first time I played my dad my music, he said it was the worst song he ever heard in his life.
Wow.
No, OD. He cooked my shit.
That's fucked up. Oh my God.
He
Like,
cooked my shit.
wow.
I was afraid to make music for the longest time, but the ability to overcome that and really shine like who you are, like your personality is seen just through your aesthetic, through your vibe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I just thought, what are some of your artist influencers? Like who inspired this? Well, I ain't gonna lie, this creative person you are.
Well, it's crazy because I feel like it definitely gets like layered. Like, I feel like, sorry, should I be talking to here or talking to here?
You can talk whatever you
Doing that
want. You
better?
can talk to me.
Okay. So I feel like the way that I definitely started because I was always like one of them kids that was like real dramatic, like and just always loved TV. I always was like I want to be famous. I want to be a pop star. Just because I thought like watching Disney Channel, you just want to be a Disney star, like you know what I mean, just from watching it.
Yeah.
But like the older I got, like I think a lot of my influence artistically came from being influenced by the pop media, but
Okay.
also my direct influence, my first influence was my uncle. He was an artist, and I used to stay at my grandma's crib all the time. He used to have all these drawings all over his wall that he did, and he used to watch a lot of like anime. I remember back then we had the box TVs and the VHS slots,
Yeah.
and he used to watch like Dragon Ball, like shit like that. So like it was tough being over there and watching him draw and stuff like that. And then it just kind of evolved. Like I feel like the older I got, the more different influences I really started to take in. I can accredit to my individual and you. Why y'all laughing?
Why are y'all laughing? About,
Not the chair, bro. Not the chair.
right. I thought it was something in the
That's
bed.
why I was like, did I say something wrong?
Nah, you good. Go
But
ahead.
I feel like in terms of artistic influence, definitely my uncle is a big influence. I would say in terms of a star that influences me, I mean, my style, I would say almost dead ass changed when I found out who Lil Uzi was. I was like, this is fucking crazy. Like,
Right.
I feel like that only because like I used to like a lot of. This is gonna sound crazy, but when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to listen to music because I grew up Muslim, right?
Right.
So I used to like listen to rock music. I used to like a lot of rock, and because we weren't allowed to listen to music as a household, that's just kind of the thing that ended up in my lap. Like nobody ever put me on the music. Like I just one day was on the internet and I was like, oh, I like this song. Like so, like I would be influenced by stuff like that. And but I was the only black kid, like in my school that liked rock music, and like I didn't like heavy bands or nothing like that. I liked like Green Day, Blink-182. At the time, I was obsessed with like 5 Seconds of Summer, but like that whole genre and that whole like what's the word that I'm looking for? It's the whole genre just kind of changed me. It was just like, damn, like this is a whole thing. Like, and I feel like that made me want to like be like the grungy aesthetic that I am. But like
Right.
as I got older, I think like I definitely draw a lot of different influences from everything. I think I see stuff and I'm like, I take a piece of that and I put it within myself, you know?
So, we actually got a note on that. So we did a little bit of research on you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that shout out to our creative director, Kat, you know what I'm saying? She did a little bit
Thank
of
you,
research on
Kat.
you. She's the brains behind what's going on right now. So, so for us, right, you doing your research, we see these things. So we know you've had comparisons to being similar to singers like Sade. And have you ever considered like pursuing other genres outside of like experiment with other sounds in terms of like people referencing you to this artist? Because me personally, I get it a lot. People say I sound like Juice WRLD all the time, like all the time,
That's crazy.
like without even trying. I don't even try to do that. I just
Why?
have my voice.
Your speaking voice or your like like your music voice?
I think my music voice. I think because the way how I like pronounce my words or freestyle or even things like that, people be like, "Yo, you sound like Juice WRLD."
That's so fucking crazy. I feel like There's a lot of layers to that question because number one, to answer your question directly, right? I would say that if I was ever, well, not if I was ever, it's important for me to dabble in different genres because I think, I mean, maybe this is something that's like inherently within me because I don't like to conform, but I don't really like to fit in a box of like, I'm this genre. Like, and then on top of that, I do like to try different shit just because. Like, I think if I don't try different stuff,
Right.
I'm like, what am I doing here? Like the whole point is to get creative with it, to like kind of go outside of the box and kind of like surprise people. I think that that's a really important aspect of not even just music, but all art forms. Because I feel like I do the same thing with my art.
You're supposed to. You don't want to be stagnant. I felt like a lot of creatives, they get in the point where they're like, oh, this worked. Let's keep just doing it. But then they start real like, damn, I can't make anything else right now. It's
Right.
because you drown yourself in this one type of media, this one type of content instead of expressing so many different genres like that we like went around and seen. Like, I remember you just said that you were watching Disney and that watching Disney inspired you kind of like to get their inner pop star. I don't know if it was Hannah Montana, but
Yeah, like shit like Hannah Montana, like Selena Gomez, like all them bitches on TV. I used to be like, wow, I have to be it. Like,
right.
but like it's funny because like
Yeah.
I think those comparisons, they don't really make or break me. Like being compared to Sade don't really make or break me. I don't hear that often. It's funny because I know she brought that up because I was telling her about, this is going to sound so crazy. I don't know if she told you this. Maybe she did already.
Like, give us the rundown. Tell your audience.
My dad is a rapper. His name is Jack Frost.
Jack Frost?
His name is Jack Frost.
That's different.
He's a very popular rapper in Philly. He, honestly, for his time, was super duper successful. Like, in my opinion, anyway. And it's to the point where he's so successful that he's probably my biggest influence in terms of the work ethic and do what I got to do.
I got a
Now,
question.
me and him have huge differences though. Like,
Okay.
but like I think we're similar in the sense that we both work and stuff like that. And but his whole thing is like, he thinks I should be an R&B singer. He thinks I shouldn't fuck around with no other genre. He's like, you sound dumb doing this, you sound dumb doing that. But I'm like, well, no. Like, I think that I should do all of these different types of things because, like, if I never tried these different genres, I wouldn't never express that part of myself that exists within that genre. Because I think these genres exist because certain type of people kind of like gravitate towards it for a certain reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But from my personal experience, I feel as though that when I stick to one thing, I mean, not only do I get bored of it sometimes, but I feel like I don't want to be defined by one thing when I'm so many different things all the time, all at once. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if that's complex or if that's doing too much, but like that's just the way that I think about it.
I think you just being yourself. You being your full authentic self. I don't think nothing wrong with that. So I also have one more question. Do you feel like it's kind of hard being like your dad was kind of into music? 'Cause my dad was into music too. Do you feel like it's kind of hard for your dad to be into music, and do you feel pressure to reach like the success that he reached, or even go further beyond that?
I don't feel no pressure, only because like he kind of like our relationship is strange, but I would say more than anything, when he sees good in me, he will push me to be that level of good. And me knowing that even if he don't support what I do right now, he did it in the past, and that support back then was all I needed. That push back then to get where I am right now. Because
Right.
I would say I'm super confident right now in my work. I'm super confident, and even if I make something I don't like, oh well, like I could just scratch it and restart. Like
Is it that he doesn't? It's not that he doesn't support you. I don't know if it's. I don't know your situation. I don't know what you got going on. But it's like he doesn't understand.
I think it's a lot of he don't really understand because like I mean, old heads gonna be old heads. Like
Facts.
he was
That's
born
a
in
fucking
like the
fact.
'70s sometimes. Like, and I feel like he like looks at my art and he's like, "Are you fucking serious?" But like he doesn't hate it. Like, and it's not that he doesn't hate it. There are things about it that he loves, but he has his own opinions. I have my opinions, and I think those are our differences that we have. But I think our similarities are strong enough to where as though even if he don't like something, if it worked for me, I think he can respect it, which I don't mind at all. So that's why I don't think that there's a pressure. I think, to be honest, and this is me being really raw and vulnerable, I think there is a level of resentment because I'm like, damn, like you really used to support me in the way that I needed you to, but like now I feel like you don't. But I think also that comes from me changing and, you know, him being who he is as a person. And I think that who am I to blame him for that? And why would I do that? So that if I did that, I wouldn't be able to move forward at all. Is what I'm really trying to say.
That's a fact. That's a whole fact. My thing is, you gotta let people live in the space that they are in,
Right.
and then once you show, like, you don't even have to prove nothing to nobody. But it's once you show, like, this was what I want to do, and I'm gonna make it work to the best of my ability and really conquer whatever industry that I'm gonna go into. That's what I just had to tell my dad recently, because I just dropped a project called Black Sheep, and when he listened to it, he was like, I'm not sure. Like, you could have told stories. You could have went and did this direction. I'm just like, I'm like, it's not
This is what I did. I
right,
did this, and this is
right,
what I wanted to do.
right,
Like, and I think like not trying to like be like, oh, this happened to me too, but like that's how my dad be sometimes too. Like I'll show him something, he's like, you should have done it like this. You should have used this beat. Why didn't you do that? And it's like, this is what I did. Like I made this because this is me. Like,
right,
and I think like not only just him, love my dad, love him so much.
right,
That's my guy. But it's like there's going to be a disconnect from people that either A, don't. I think this is first and foremost when it comes to him specifically. He doesn't delve in the genres that I delve in,
right.
so he don't really fucking care to be completely honest. And that's just me being brutally honest about it. But like number two, I don't think he understands it because he's never really experienced that genre of what I do. So it's like the pressure is not really there because I don't think he get it. Like so it's like I think my pressure is more coming from the people that maybe understand it. But like once I realize like he really don't fully understand and he's his own type of person and I realize I'm my own type of person, realizing that disconnect between the two of us kind of set me free. It kind of made me realize like there's no reason for me to hate him for not understanding me. He just simply doesn't, and that's okay.
Right.
Like, and he gonna come around if he gonna want to come around, but like I'm not gonna force nobody's hand to be where I'm supposed to be at because if he was a regular person, I wouldn't try to force him to listen to my music.
Facts.
Cause he's a regular person, like you know what I mean. Like our
In a
parents are
sense,
humans too.
in a sense, I say this all the time. I think art is perspective. You know what I mean? Whether it's creating music or whether it's doing actual drawings and stuff like that. So for us, like, besides just the music stuff, we also know that you was on a comic tour. Can you give us a little bit of rundown about that?
Oh yeah, the comic tour. The comic tour was a bit of an impulsive little decision. I got myself a little 9 to 5 and got a couple of bucks, and I decided, okay, what if we went on a tour? Because I can afford to do it.
Right.
And recently, it's been picking up a little bit in terms of like my sales and my comic. I mean, there are people that make way more money than me. Don't get me wrong, but
That don't mean nothing. We
that,
started.
right, exactly. I'm really just starting. I dropped my first full comic, and I have my first issue came out in November, and I spent all that like 6 months writing that.
How long have you been like drawing just in general? And like, do you
My
find
whole
it
life.
like your whole life? Shit, I wish I could draw. Like, I got a book where I used to draw like when I was a kid, like stick figures, like full blown. Like, don't you know, you flip the book and like
And
this.
do all of that different shit, right?
Yeah. That was me. I used to do those. I ain't gonna lie.
You used to have them doing kick flips on the skateboard and shit.
No, I remember seeing those videos online. I ain't gonna lie.
Yo, they the geek, bro.
I used to do the anime ones. I used to make Goku.
That's
And like,
right.
yeah, type shit.
No, but you had to do it because that was just some shit that you had to do real quick. But
Yeah.
for me, it was like, I had to stick with it. I just love making art.
Is it a
But
passion for you?
it's definitely a passion. I'm an artistic individual. I was born to create, in my opinion. Like, just because, like, I mean, I wasn't allowed to do a lot of shit when I was younger. I was allowed to draw, but I wasn't allowed to draw eyes and stuff. But, like,
Why is that?
because I grew up religious. I grew up Muslim.
Oh.
So like it's a lot of layers to like a lot of the reasons why I do certain shit. But like I always felt restricted with that. But because I felt restricted, I used to keep my art to myself when I did used to draw, right? And I would draw whatever I would draw or whatever. And because of like my environment and because of the way I grew up, I used to keep to myself just because I didn't really want to be shamed for anything. I was really shy when I was younger, when I was a kid. So I would keep my art to myself. So that was like a passion for me. And that was like something that kind of like helped me. It was like my therapy. And it's definitely still my therapy.
Right.
But-
That's what music is for me.
For sure. And I think like you can't ever like leave that alone. And I think because I did it for so long, it was kind of inevitable I was going to write a comic book. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, I used to always, like, I remember when I first started making my own characters and my own little people, I was like, this is what I want to do. Because I used to watch the cartoon. Like I said, it all boiled down to, like, Disney and, like, the cartoons I used to watch. Like,
Right.
that was a huge influence on me. And, like, I just decided that I wanted to write a comic book because I just felt like that it was hard for me to put my life into words outside of visual storytelling through a comic book. Like, A comic book is good because you got pictures and words. I'm talking to you, but I'm also showing you what's happening.
The story at the same time. It's a full blown. I like
Right.
comics a lot like that.
And I think it's cool. And the funniest part is, I never really read comics. Like,
Real shit.
I watched cartoons, but I never really read comics.
So wait, what got you into starting like really got you into starting like make your first comic and what was it called?
My first comic was the comic that I released recently.
That was your first
That was
ever
my
one?
well, my first ever comic. Yeah, it was it was like the intro of the comic that I released recently. I wrote that the beginning of last year, like February, March. And I put that out because it was just some small shit that I wanted to do. Because I built these characters. I always had these characters. All of my characters, I've been creating characters since maybe like 2019 because I went to UArts for like a summer institute. Shout out to my dad because he really helped me out with that. He really helped me like build my, because that was back then when he was really helping me out with doing art shows and stuff like that. He really put my foot in the door with doing stuff like that.
Right.
And
He gave you a good foundation.
for sure, yes. And
That's
really
good.
helped me be able to put the drive in and do what I have to do. But I was making my own characters and I decided that I wanted them to be in a story. And at the time, I wanted the story to relate to my life. I didn't want it to be made up. I wanted it to be something that I was going through while also being kind of made up at the same time and being very freeform. So it kind of took a lot of time to create those characters that were going to interact and trying to figure out what was going to be the main character and blah, blah, blah. But,
Can you give us a name over it so people can find it and know like?
oh, my comic?
Yeah,
My
come
comic.
on.
The comic is named Stygian. Stygian means of the underworld, right? You can find Stygian on my Instagram link in bio. If you want to buy a copy, I would appreciate if you did buy a copy. If you buy a copy, it's $15. It's on my merch store. Or you can look at my Webtoons link, which is also on my link in my bio. And my Instagram, I don't know if I should be tagging myself right
Go
now.
ahead, tag everything you want to.
My Instagram is at Amani Starks, my first and last name, AMANISTARKS.
Okay. Can you give us a little bit of emphasis like on the message of the name of why you chose that name for the comic?
I chose Stygian because this is gonna sound so weird, but I found these owls and they're called Stygian owls, and I was like, what the fuck does Stygian mean? And I googled it, and it meant of the underworld. And Stygian, the root word of it is like the river of Styx. So you ever heard of the river of Styx, like in like Greek mythology?
I have.
So like the river of Styx is where all the dead people go, like, and where all the lost souls go.
Right,
So,
and they have I can't remember the guy who No, Hades is the ruler of the underworld. He's like they give him like a token or a coin and he like ships them over on the
oh
boat.
my fucking god, what is his? I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Exactly. I don't know his name, but I know of that. I know that.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I chose it because I felt like of the underworld really represented what I'm all about, in the sense of I'm all about looking beneath the surface, looking why are we ignoring what's underneath, looking beyond what's being just given to me. You know what I mean? Like, and I think looking in the underworld is kind of like you looking beneath the surface. Like, and that's why I chose Stygian, because I wanted to write a comic that was kind of like people read it and they're like, this is fucking weird, but it's also deep, but it's also complex. It's all the things that we're not talking about. You know what I mean?
Do you usually like have those type of like deep meanings within your art? Because I know also with your clothing line that you have a really deep meaning with that as well.
For sure, yes. I think everything that I make, I would be lying if I said that I just made things off the fly. Like, everything that I do is damn near deliberate. And a lot of people is not going to like some of the shit that I make, because some of the stuff that I make might either go against someone's religion, go against someone's moral beliefs, or make people think too deeply, or even offend people. But I think sometimes being offensive is important, because, like, if you ignoring the truth of what's happening right here, then what are you doing on a day-to-day life? That just goes to show that you're not even thinking deep enough to understand what's going on at all.
I'll say this, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like me personally, like I feel like I'm probably not ever gonna see you again. And even if I did see you again, how much impact do you really have on my life to be telling me what I can and can't do?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? For me, you're not my religious believer, like whoever your guy, whoever, like,
And I believe in God. Like, I'm a believer in God,
too.
right? But,
I
like,
do too.
you're not my guy. And that's what I think. Like, and I think, like, not to get deep, but I'm very much a believer in, like, and I think most religions would agree with me when I say this material plane that we live on is so temporary that it's like, why would I sit here and listen to you if this is not aligning with my purpose? Like, I have a purpose, and my purpose is, in my opinion, to speak the truth. I think it's important to speak my truth, to talk about things that nobody else is really talking about, to discuss these topics, because, like, I feel like it's so often ignored. Or even if I'm even if I am being gory or if I am being violent in it, there's a level of the film is not being broken. Like I think it's so important to do that, you know?
Yeah. I just told somebody that I'm sent here to do exactly what I do.
Right.
Like nobody else is sent here to do what I do.
Right.
Like in terms even of making music, I'm sent here for a reason. Like I'm put on this earth for a reason.
Right.
And I'm gonna do it to my full capacity, whatever it is.
And that's some real shit, bro.
No cap. Say this, just you talk to the viewers on this one. Do you have any last messages for your audience and people who listen to your music?
The people that listen to my music, guys, number one, it's gonna be okay. I promise. Like I feel like I'll say to somebody that stay stressing, stay trying to make shit work, like just go with the flow. That's what it's all about. I might in my songs be talking about crying and screaming and throwing up over some crazy man, but don't do that. Just be okay, okay? I want you to be okay. You are loved, you are appreciated, and never stop being yourself. It's so important to be yourself. It's so important to follow what you think is important. And yeah, I just think follow your heart. That's what I'm very much, that's my thing.
Yes, indeed. And do you have any projects that you're gonna be releasing soon that people can look out for?
Ooh, well, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I do plan on month by month dropping a single and then overall dropping my album. I have an album out right now. It's called Pneumatics, but it's only available on CD. It's only available on CD, and I'm winking because it's a really cool concept in my head. I put it only out on CDs because I wanted it to be exclusive, and I wanted it to be something that is tangible. You can experience it rather than going on Spotify or music and just tapping it and be like, oh, that was good, and never listening to it again. No, I want you to have the CD. I want you to have the music. I want you to feel it. So it's like, if you want my music and you want the album before it comes out, because to be honest, it's probably not going to come out on streaming platforms for like another couple of months. If I were you, to get those exclusive tracks, I would check out the link in my bio on my Instagram, Amani Starks, and just buy the CD. I'll ship them out. They're all there for you.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on today. I loved your performance. I love your aesthetic, your vibe. I'm sure the viewers at home are going to love you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching.
All right. Signing off.